Hello students, this is going to be a quick tutorial on how we made the histograms for the question about would they eat cookies made from cricket powder on a regular basis, and we wanted to determine how the answers to those questions differed based on gender. The first thing we did was we made a pivot table, and to do this we made sure we wanted to select just the variable names, just one row with the variable names and all the data underneath it. And so I'm selecting all of that. And once I have all the data selected, I'm going to go Insert, Pivot Table. Okay. And I'm just going to make the histogram for the results separated by gender. And what we want to do, I know that the variable that we're interested in is P will eat cookie C. So I'm going to drag that under values. It says sum of the values. I don't want to know the sum of the values. I want to know the count, because I want to know how many times they answered strongly agree or somewhat disagree. So I'm changing that to count. I also bring this variable under rows. And then that gives us the data we want. This means that 44 individuals answered 2, which is disagree, and 65 individuals answered 5, which is somewhat agree. Now I want to separate these results by gender, so I'm also going to come over here. I'm going to find gender, and I'm going to drag it down under rows. And see, that's kind of hard to look at, so I'm going to come over here and put gender on top. And that gives me a easier pivot table to look at. Another thing I've also found that helps is to use the classic pivot table layout. To do that, I go here under Options, Classic Pivot Table Layout. Okay, now it also gives me the variable name gender. So what this means is that if you look back at the data, you'll see that values of 1 means male. And so there were 22 males who indicated disagree, whereas there were, when gender's 2, that's female, 22 females said disagree. That's the same, but there were 41 males who said neither agree nor disagree, 39 females who said neither agree nor disagree. I'm now going to make my histogram out of this data. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select that pivot table, I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste special values. And these are the data that I'll work with. I know that I want my histogram to have the x-axis that looks like this. And then I want one column that has the male values, the other column that has the female values. And I don't want the number of males who responded in some way. I want the percent of males who responded in some way. So in this cell right here, I want the percent of males who said strongly disagree. That means I want this cell to be 52 divided by the total number of males of 253. I'm going to do that by going equals. I'm going to select that 52, and then I'm going to divide by 253. For females, I want to take the number of females that strongly disagreed, which was 110 there, and divide it by the total number of females, which was 249. Once I have those values, I can copy it, paste it all the way down. I'm going to come over here and change it to percents. And that has all the data I want for the histogram. And if I've done this right, the sum of all the percents for males should equal 100%. It does. The sum of all the percents for females should equal 100%. It does. Good. Now I'm ready to actually make my histogram. To make the histogram, I'm going to select all these data. I'm going to go Insert, Chart, Bar Chart. And I don't want it to look like that. So I'm going to change start chart type to this. Okay, good. Now I'm going to move that. I'm going to move the chart to a new sheet. And now I'm going to begin my formatting. I want to change the text on everything, so I'm going to select the whole chart. Come over here, I'm going to change it to Garamond font. I want it 14 point. I want the color to be black, and I want it to be bold. And then I want to get rid of these grid lines, so I'm going to right click on the grid lines, format grid lines, and put no line. Good. Now I also want a y-axis title here, and I want data labels. So whenever there's something you want on the chart and it's not there, you can always add it by going to chart design, add chart element. And let's see, I want axis titles primary vertical. I also want data labels, and I'm going to choose outside in. Everything looks good here. And now I want to just format some of the y-axis title to make it a little easier to read. I'll call this % of respondents who gave each answer. Also remember, what we're trying to do is get a chart that looks exactly like this chart. And so I want a title that looks like this. So I'm going to change the title to that. So the final thing that we want to do is to have the picture of this insect in the background. To do that, I'm going to select the whole chart, right click, format chart area, fill. I want to fill it with the picture, so I choose picture. I'm going to find the file of the picture I want, and it was this picture. I'm going to insert it. The picture seems to dominate everything, and so I just need to give it some transparency. There. And now we have a chart that's very close to the one that we wanted to make. The final part of getting a high quality chart image to use in a document is to save this as a PDF. This chart has to be in a sheet all by itself with no spreadsheet in the background. And then you go File, Save As. Give it a name, save it as a PDF, and you want to only save the sheet, not the entire workbook, and save. And then if we go and we look at what we made, it's a perfect, beautiful histogram. And that's how it works. Hope this helps.